Welcome to ESG Decoded, the podcast where we unpack how business, innovation, and impact intersect to shape a sustainable future. I'm Emma Cox, one of the ESG Decoded hosts and Chief Commercial Officer at Climate. This special video series was filmed live at Climate Week New York 2025, capturing conversations with some of the most forward-thinking and influential voices in sustainability today. These leaders aren't just talking about change, they're actually driving it. Each episode delivers real-world insights and inspiration you can apply to make an impact in your own sphere. Stay tuned for more episodes from this exclusive series. For now, let's decode ESG together. Welcome to ESG Decoded. Today we have a special episode. We're here at New York Climate Week 2025. We are lucky to have Mayor Justin Bibb in the studio with us today. We're going to be talking about climate leadership, state and local power in climate action, and navigating the current political landscape. Welcome, Justin.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we're really excited for today. So, Justin Bibb is the 58th mayor of Cleveland and the city's first millennial mayor. Justin, did you know we are the same age?
There we go.
You've accomplished way more than I have.
We're both doing big things.
We are. We're trying, right? So Justin was born and raised on the southeast side of Cleveland. He's brought experience from business, law, and public policy back home to lead the city he loves. You love Cleveland, right?
Love the land.
Great. Since taking office in 2022, Mayor Bibb has been focused on reimagining public safety, revitalizing Cleveland's waterfront, and making city services more responsive and people-centered. I love that. A proud Clevelander with degrees from American University and Case Western Reserve, he's also a big believer that climate action, equity, and innovation go hand in hand. What a bio. Justin, I'm so excited to talk with you today. Let's kick it off. So you and I met a year ago at Climate Week. At a Climate Week event, and I can vividly remember being there at that event and asking you, so what do you do? And you calmly replied, I'm the mayor of Cleveland. I tell people that story all the time. I love it. So I'm happy to be back with you today. Obviously, you are a champion of climate action for Cleveland, but also for this country.
Thank you.
And I want to kick us off with a kind of fun Cleveland-focused icebreaker question. So if we were giving someone the Mayor Bibb tour of Cleveland, you only get one afternoon, where would you take them?
So I love a good cup of coffee.
Okay.
So you need some good caffeine for a jam-packed afternoon stroll throughout the city. So we would start in the Detroit Shoreway neighborhood.
Okay.
Check out a Ready Set Coffee, some of the best coffee in Cleveland.
Ready Set.
And then we would do a walk towards Edgewater Park.
Okay.
Folks may not realize this, but Cleveland has an amazing lakefront, some amazing beaches in Cleveland. We call it America's North Coast.
Okay.
And I think just seeing the water, it would give you a sense of what makes Cleveland a great city on a great lake. And then from there, check out the West Side Market in the Ohio City neighborhood. And then we would check out downtown in the urban core. And then from there, I think we would end it in the University Circle neighborhood.
Fantastic.
Where we would go to the art museum, botanical gardens, and really get a good sense of all the good cultural assets that make Cleveland a great city.
Amazing. So you're going to take me on this tour the next time.
Open invitation.
All right. I just wanted to get the itinerary straight for the next time I'm in Cleveland. All right. Well, let's get into the main topic for today, which is climate. Something you and I are both very passionate about. I've heard you speak a few times on this topic with passion, and that's one of the things I love about you. So you have clearly made climate a key pillar of your leadership in Cleveland. So why was that such an important priority for you in day one? What drives that in you?
I had a improbable journey, not only becoming mayor, but really becoming a climate mayor and former chairman of climate mayors for the country.
Yep.
And when I was running for mayor nearly 4 years ago, I never thought that climate would be a key part of my policy agenda. But one of the things I love about being in politics, and one of the things I loved about running for office, was the voters of any community will tell you what you need to know about what's needed in terms of the kind of leader they want to see, what their priorities are. And I'll never forget this. I was knocking on doors in the east side of Cleveland, where I was born and raised in the southeast side. And I knocked on the door. A single mom came to the door, and she heard my pitch about why I wanted to be mayor and my vision for public safety and modernizing City Hall and housing and making sure we have good quality neighborhoods. And she said, young man, all that sounds great, but my baby got asthma. And on the west side, I know their air quality is a lot better than it is on the east side. What you gonna do about that? And that's when the dots started to connect for me.
Yeah.
And then just a few weeks after that first interaction with that voter, I had a presentation from a local nonprofit that really talked about the inequities that we had by zip code in Cleveland on air quality.
People are experiencing it firsthand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Cleveland, is top 10 right now in the country in terms of air quality. Top 10, I believe, in terms of asthma rates, and predominantly communities of color.
Yeah.
And so there is a direct correlation between the work we're trying to do to address climate change, to making sure we have thriving neighborhoods, to making sure we have good quality housing. All these things are interconnected.
Totally connected.
And so from that interaction, I made it a key part of not only my campaign, but subsequently when I took office and became mayor. During the transition, when we hired folks in my administration, we made every job description focused on addressing climate justice and addressing climate change.
So you really embedded it.
Absolutely. Taking an all-of-government approach.
Okay.
And I know we're going to talk about this later, but this is why local leadership matters now more than ever. When we see this attack on climate coming from the federal government, when we see this disinvestment from supporting cities like Cleveland to address climate change at the local level, we as mayors and governors have to stand in the gap because our residents can't wait for Washington to get their act together. We have to get action now, and that's the work we're about every day.
That's amazing. Well, Mayor Bibb, it's, I think, a true testament to your leadership, too, that you listened, because not every politician listens, right? And so that example, that story, that wonderful story you just told, shows that you were really listening to your voters, and you took that experience and incorporated it into, I hope that person knows that you listened and you incorporated that into your strategy. So let's get into the strategy a little bit, because I would like for our listeners to better understand how a mayor embeds sustainability, climate action, environmental justice into your platform. Where do you even start?
Well, I think it's important to set the context of why Cleveland is such a critical part of this global conversation. You don't get the EPA without Cleveland. And let me tell you why. Right. So in 1969, most folks may not know this, but our river, the Cuyahoga River, caught on fire. And one of my predecessors, who was the first Black mayor elected to lead a major American city, the late, great Carl B. Stokes, probably like me, did not campaign on being a climate mayor. But, being a mayor requires you to step up when there's moments of crises.
Yep.
And so the river catches on fire in 1969. Mayor Stokes leads a nationwide pollution tour talking about the importance of clean waterways in America's cities. And during that time, America was leading the world in industry and the Industrial Revolution. And one of the direct consequences of that was a lot of industry was located in communities of color.
Yes.
And they were being poisoned by
literally
dirty air, dirty water, dirty land. And so what's so important about what Mayor Stokes led to what we're leading is at every step of the way, we've shown what bold local leadership can look like. So the river catches on fire in 1969, the Clean Water Act gets passed, and then the EPA is created 1 year later. And so we have a moral obligation and a strong political obligation
yes.
To meet the moment now more than ever. So when I took office, we got to work. We updated our climate action plan. We celebrated the launch of that climate action plan this Earth Day. We engaged. Thank you so much. It was a people-centered process, just like our campaign was in 2021. We engaged over 1,000 residents across the city. We engaged industry, government. And from that climate action plan, we have a key set of priorities and strategies and direct actions we're taking to really meet the moment. So, for example, we've centered our climate action plan around the number one issue facing Clevelanders and the number one issue facing Americans, the cost of living crisis. And I think one of the reasons why we're having so much, challenges right now in the political environment around climate, we get caught up in the fancy jargon and language. We go to cool events in New York with the UN and Aspen, and we've all been there. We're talking about greenhouse gas emissions, and all that's great. But what is it doing to Miss Jones and Lee Harvard to lower energy costs?
What does it mean for me?
Absolutely.
What does it mean for me?
And so we center this on the everyday challenges facing everyday working class folks in my city. So we're focused on making sure we lower energy costs. We want to become net zero by 2050. We have real goals in place to reduce our emissions by 63% by 2030. We believe through the course of this climate action plan, we can reduce the energy burden by 34% for our residents, saving nearly $20 million for Clevelanders. Wow. So this is what this work is all about, and this is what centering it in resident voice can lead to: actionable policies that uplift working class folks.
Mayor, talk a little bit. You missed one element of, I think, maybe it's not in your climate action plan, but I love this piece to make nature accessible to Clevelanders. Talk about that a little bit, because I think, as climate activists, we sort of forget the nature piece, right? The biodiversity, the access. Your earlier story about clean air. Access to nature is huge.
It's huge. It's personal for me.
Yeah.
I grew up in the heart of the inner city in Cleveland, and my saving grace when it was a lot of hot days and we ain't had no AC in the house, or we were so broke that my mom and grandma didn't want to put the AC on. We had a couple fans in the living room and in the kitchen and the bedroom.
That's how I grew up too.
In the living room.
Yep.
I go to a park. We find some shade.
The trees.
Or I'd hang out with my grandma and her friends and help plant in a garden. That was one of my first summer jobs, helping my grandma plant urban gardens in the inner city. And then fast forward during the pandemic. I was living in a apartment building, and everything was shut down.
Yep.
And, by the grace of God, I could walk to the lake. I could walk to amazing green space
that was huge.
By my apartment. But many folks during the pandemic didn't have that luxury, right? And so one of the things we prioritize in making Cleveland a walkable, accessible, green 15-minute city is making sure there's a high-quality park and green space within 15 minutes of anybody who lives in our city. We have conducted the first ever park and rec master plan, auditing what's working, what's not working across the entire city.
Yep.
We completed the first ever complete and green streets ordinance. Wow. So we're prioritizing green development over gray infrastructure development in our city. So all these things are interconnected to make sure that that green space is available to our residents.
That's amazing, because when you think of a city, you don't think about green spaces or access to green spaces, but it's achievable.
It is.
And it sounds like you're doing that. So congrats.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room here, which is how do we make progress at a local level without the support of federal government? Obviously, that's been tough over the last 11 months or so. But I think I find hope in local government, local communities. There's a lot we can do locally. So talk to me about how you're finding opportunity and optimism at a local level, and how you're also sort of actively working to challenge the federal level.
Well, I would say there are a couple of things. One, despite the fact that we have seen this retrenchment from the Trump administration around investing in climate and prioritizing addressing climate change, I've been able to find ways to work with my federal delegation still to bring resources and to advocate for addressing climate change. Really proud of the leadership of my Congresswoman Shontel Brown and other leaders of Congress who could still believe in prioritizing addressing this issue. And so, you got to find those voices in D.C. where you can.
Absolutely.
To help you at the local level.
And there
we're
still are voices.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. So I don't want to negate that and the importance of that partnership. Secondly, I would say you can't manage what you can't measure, from what former Mayor Bloomberg always said. And so the fact that we have scientific-based goals and targets, a public dashboard available right now, gives us the tactics and strategies to make sure we are holding ourselves accountable to meet the standards, despite the challenges we see with the federal government. And I'll also say city, state, and city, nonprofit, private sector at the local level partnerships are paramount.
Oh my gosh!
In this moment,
there's so many nonprofits trying to get it done.
Absolutely. So we really have doubled down with our foundation community in Cleveland, both the Cleveland Foundation and the Gunn Foundation. We work very closely with our county executive to really meet our climate goals here across Cleveland and across Northeast Ohio, and private industry.
Huge.
We gotta talk about the business case.
Yes.
Right. This is about jobs. This is about wealth. This is about making sure we don't cede our entrepreneurial expertise and innovation to our global competitors. I don't want China to be beating our butts when it comes
we can win still, right?
The electronic vehicle sector. I don't want Europe to be kicking our asses when it comes to innovations around renewables. Right? America can lead.
Absolutely.
So it's not only about economic competitiveness, but also about national security.
Yes.
Right? So when I'm in D.C. talking to folks in Congress, I'm talking about not only the economic competitiveness business case, but the national security case for why these investments still matter.
That's fascinating. Tell me more about that. What is that case?
Well, I mean, listen, if we don't find a way to build more electronic vehicles here in the United States, then where is that innovation and dynamism going to go? It's going to go to China.
Yeah.
If we don't find a way to protect our energy assets at home and abroad, then Russia and other European nations are going to be able to exploit that.
Absolutely.
And so if America still wants to be one of the best damn nations in the world, we can't afford to cede our expertise and cede our innovation and cede our dynamism to our global competitors.
Absolutely. Could not agree more. That's great. Yeah. Okay, Justin, I want to hear a little bit about your involvement in America Is All In. I think a lot of our listeners may not know about that organization. You are the co-chair of that organization with California Governor Gavin Newsom, correct?
Yes.
My own home state, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Gina McCarthy. So tell me about that organization. What are you all doing to sort of make progress at local, but also federal, and partner with private sector? how does that all work, and what do you guys focus on?
Yeah, well, really, three amazing names to be in company with, people that I've looked up to for years throughout my career in the public and private sector. And so on the public sector side, working really closely with Governor Newsom and Governor Pritzker to make sure that we protect and defend all the gains that we've made, especially under former President Biden. You think about all that we got done with the Inflation Reduction Act, all that we got done with the bipartisan infrastructure bill, all that we got done with the CHIPS and Science Act. We got a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, people are worried that progress will go away.
Exactly. And month after month after month over the last 8 months, I've seen amazing organizations and initiatives in my hometown have to cut back funding or cut back on projects like a new solar project that was going to create good paying jobs in Black and brown neighborhoods, or the work that that we're going to be potentially clawing back on our ability to track greenhouse gas emissions in the transportation sector at the local level.
And was that all funded by the IRA?
Yes, some of it
so
IRA,
seeing this happen.
Some of it from the bipartisan infrastructure bill. And this is not the way we should be going forward as a country. And so with this collaboration with America's All In, we are protecting and defending the gains that we've made, but also advocating to the private sector and the nonprofit sector. We got to stand in the gap, right? As I've been saying recently, Washington ain't coming to save us. We got to save ourselves.
That's right.
And so it's so important that we have these coalitions who can be nimble, who can raise capital, and who can raise awareness about the challenges that we see right now on this issue.
But how are you doing that? I mean, give us some hope. I mean, is progress being made there?
I do.
Okay.
I think
you feel hopeful?
I think we are making the case to members of Congress to stave off some of these cuts. We haven't won every battle, but we won some.
Gotta try,
We are raising more awareness in the private sector to continue to make these investments at the state and local level to support these critical projects that they've seen cuts from the federal government. And I think we're going to see an elevated role of philanthropy. Now philanthropy can't completely fill the gap from the federal government, but they can play a role.
Okay.
And I think private industry has a huge role.
I'm curious about that.
I mean, you saw what the current CEO of Exxon said when Trump pulled out of the Paris Accords again. He said, no, this is the wrong thing for America and the wrong thing for industry.
We need that bold leadership.
Exactly. So we need more CEOs to step up and talk about the business case and the national security case on why this work is so important.
Yeah, so the private sector is huge. I mean, obviously, Climeco works with a lot of the private sector to help them advance their decarbonization initiatives. So we're seeing a lot of progress still being made. Of course, there's some silencing happening in terms of not talking about that progress or not wanting to celebrate the wins for fear of being scrutinized or bullied. But we are seeing progress being made. Are you seeing the same progress happening at the private sector level?
I do
the
at
same
the
level
local
of
level.
Investment?
I do at the local level. Obviously, the investment's always going to be a challenge now. But you're seeing more and more corporate leaders, especially in Cleveland, continue their work around addressing climate change and sustainability because of the immediate and long-term business impact for them if they don't.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about that all the time at Climeco, that sustainability is a business driver.
Absolutely.
We need to reshape that narrative and get businesses to think about sustainability, decarbonization as something that is good for their bottom line. Because let's be honest, capitalism is not going away.
No, it is not.
We might as well leverage it.
Indeed.
To do good.
Indeed.
So, all right, I have a fun question for you, Mayor Bibb. So, imagine you had a magic climate wand. So this is a climate mayor's magic wand. You could make one policy change tomorrow. It could be local, state, and or federal. What would it be?
I would say forever protecting cities, especially blue cities and red states, from the threats of preemption. I'm attacked constantly as a Democratic mayor in now a red state in Ohio, when it comes to not only issues around climate, but gun safety and violent crime and public safety issues. when it comes to protecting our income tax revenue and our tax base, and our other assets that we own at the city of Cleveland. And for example, they've preempted cities at the local level in counties across the state from investing in solar farms, prioritizing fossil fuels when that's the wrong pathway for Ohio.
That's right.
Now, don't get me wrong. Do we need to have an all of the above approach until we can get to a point where we are no longer relying on fossil fuels? Absolutely.
Yes.
But we need to do all of the above.
We still need to transition.
Exactly.
Get there, yep.
And give cities and mayors at the local level the autonomy that's codified in state law and our Constitution in Ohio, the ability to do that. And
Absolutely.
in Ohio, I would say we need more common sense policies to address our energy crisis. And I think Ohio's mayors should have the tools and not be preempted from doing that at the local level.
That's great. Now, you just said something that reminded me. You are a blue city in a red state.
Mm-hmm.
That is challenging,
It is.
I would imagine, to say the least.
It is.
But I am of the mindset that if we're going to make any progress at all, we have to find some sort of a common ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that in climate action? I mean, is that any tactics you have? Any sort of psychology you use?
Yeah, well, one thing I love about being a mayor, and the former mayor of Pittsburgh, Bibb, has this great quote, and I love it. And he says this. There are three parties in America: Democrats, Republicans, and mayors. My residents don't give a damn that I'm a Democrat.
No.
They want the pothole fixed.
Correct.
They want the trash picked up. They want the cops paid. They want to make sure we prioritize public safety. They want speed tables installed on the streets to slow down crazy, reckless drivers. They just want to see results. And my refrain is very simple. I'll work with anybody, red, blue, green, purple, I don't care, if they share my vision to move my city forward.
I love that. That's a strong message.
Thank you. And so there have been issues where I've worked with Republicans across the aisle to move Cleveland forward. For example, we got funding from Governor DeWine's administration, who's a common sense Republican governor in my state, to install a free EV charging station in a black neighborhood in Cleveland because of that partnership.
Yeah.
We got funding from a Republican governor, a Republican legislature to invest in lakefront development because they see the importance of the water economy in Cleveland.
Everybody can agree on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when there are issues where folks can work together, we got to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. Low-hanging
and come
fruit.
back for the other 20%
That's
on
right.
the next go-around.
That's right. I love it. That's a really strong message. I'm really glad you shared that. All right, let's talk about representation, youth, and your vision. So we've said this a few times. I'm sure you've heard it a few times from people that you speak to, maybe too many times, but you are the youngest black mayor in Cleveland's history. That's huge.
Big deal.
A big deal. So how has that shaped your perspective on climate leadership? I want you to talk a little bit about inspiring future leaders.
Yeah.
What do you say to the future leaders, particularly from underrepresented backgrounds?
Well, we're both millennials.
We are.
And I've been reflecting on all that we've experienced in our time on this planet. You think about, I was a freshman in high school when 9/11 happened. We were witness to wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. I was graduating college at the height of the Great Recession in 2009. We've experienced the most recent global pandemic we've had in 100 years with COVID-19.
Yep.
Then we saw this pandemic of racial inequality after the tragic murder of George Floyd. We've seen a lot in a short amount of time. But we've also seen new levels of innovation and prosperity and technology that is unheard of, probably since the invention of the Model T or the typewriter from the evolution of social media to AI to what you see with Amazon and the delivery of services and goods, the world is changing rapidly fast, and we've seen it all in a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. So the pain that we've experienced, but also I think the innovation that we've been able to create because of that pain has made us impatient. Mm. I'm an impatient millennial leader. But the lesson I've learned in my short time being mayor is that in order to go fast, you need to go slow. Mm. Bring people along who believe in your vision, listen intently, and don't stop listening. And I think with that mindset, we can achieve anything. And so I encourage any young leader to step up. You know, when I ran for mayor 4 years ago, folks told me I was too young, not experienced enough, and that I had to wait my turn. And I said to myself, what if Dr. King waited his turn before he led the Montgomery bus boycott in his mid-20s? You know, what if Rosa Parks said, I'm not going to sit in the front of the bus because I'm going to wait my turn?
Right. These movements wouldn't have happened, right?
What if some of the great innovators that we've seen in our economy, from Mark Zuckerberg to others, said, you know what, I'm going to just finish college and get the degree and take a standard job before I start that new venture? Mm-hmm. We would be at a detriment. And so I think it's important for us to get the experience, take risks, learn to fail fast, get back up again and try again. And I think that kind of mindset will allow us to solve our most vexing problems in this country.
I love that. That is very inspiring. I hope that somebody listening to this podcast feels inspired to take office, to run for office, and help solve this massive challenge we have. You said something about moving slowly. I feel like we're moving too slowly in terms of climate action. What would you say to that? I mean, do you feel like we're moving quick enough? It's easy to sort of get, stuck in that doom and gloom.
I will say, while in this moment it feels like progress has been halted, there is a lot of fast, quick action happening at the local level. Now, the way we think about progress might need to change in this moment.
Okay.
So last year, under a different federal regime, we thought progress was passing a big bill that no one knew about.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Because during the campaign last year, majority of folks I talked to had no idea what the Inflation Reduction Act was. But now in this moment, if, like we've done in Cleveland, we just passed legislation to save millions of dollars on our energy bills and are reinvesting those savings to fix our police stations. That's progress.
Yes, absolutely.
We are installing solar panels in people's homes, lowering the energy costs by nearly 60%. That's progress.
Absolutely.
So progress might not come in grand sweeping federal legislation from on high from Washington, D.C., but it will come block by block, city by city, state by state, in a way that tangibly affect people's lives. And I think we need to change our relationship of how we think about progress and change in this moment.
And I think another lesson that I just learned from hearing you too is a lot of the times we see progress only at the federal level, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think it's so important that you're highlighting all of these steps.
Absolutely.
That Cleveland is taking, that other cities are taking. We may not be seeing it, but it's happening.
It's happening.
That's amazing. Great. So, okay, Mayor Bibb, we're almost time to finish up. I can't believe it. It's been a fun time. But I do want to end with a fun lightning round of questions if you're up for it. Okay? So my first question to you, and try to keep these brief. No overthinking. All right, so what's the first app you check in the morning when you wake up?
Gmail.
Favorite place in Cleveland to clear your head?
Lake Erie.
One climate myth you wish you could bust?
That you need to be an expert in climate to make an impact.
All right. If Cleveland's climate progress had a soundtrack, what's one song on it?
I gotta throw some love to the famous, great Bone Thugs-n-Harmony
Okay.
from Cleveland. They have a song called Cleveland is a City. And Cleveland is the city of progress. Cleveland is the city of innovation. And Cleveland is the city that will show America how to get it done.
That is amazing. I love it. Mayor, it's been such a pleasure. I know you are a very busy man.
Thank you. Honored to be with you.
You've got a full itinerary here at Climate Week, which I love, and I want you to get you to your next event. But I want to leave everyone feeling inspired. You have already dropped some words of wisdom, some nuggets for our listeners. But what are your advice to other mayors or leaders on embedding climate into their city's DNA? Because clearly you have done that. You live it.
Yeah. Well, I know we had a lot of great conversation today and fantastic dialogue with you. And I'm really proud of all the work that you're leading across the country. But my motto is very simple, and I think most mayors believe in this, and it should be our North Star, especially in this moment. It's something I learned from my mom and my grandma as a kid growing up. This idea that well done is better than well said. Well done is better than well said. If we keep that as our North Star, there is nothing we can't do, and there is nothing we can't achieve, and there is nothing we can't deliver on to make sure that this generation and the nation's future generation benefits from the seeds we're planting right now to move our country forward.
Another powerful statement, especially when we are seeing a lot of, quiet progress. So
Exactly.
Just have faith that progress is happening and don't stop pushing it. So Mayor Bibb, how can our listeners follow Cleveland's progress, support Cleveland's progress? How can somebody in Illinois support Cleveland?
Well, check out all of our media online. Check out our website, our social media as well. Follow Mayor Bibb on Instagram and X and Blue Sky and all the channels out there. But also come visit our city. Cleveland is the heart of America. In many ways, Cleveland is America, and America is Cleveland. We're seeing a comeback in our city, and it's time for the nation to take note that Cleveland is on the rise, and this is the Cleveland era, and we're going to do everything we can to meet the moment.
Well, I'm going to take you up on that, Mayor Bibb.
Come visit.
I will be there next week.
Love
You're
it.
going to give me the
Yes.
afternoon tour.
I got you.
We're hitting all those spots. All right, so let's wrap it up. We heard today from Mayor Bibb that local leadership matters. We heard that climate action can be woven into every layer of city governance. You've really embedded that. And representation and vision really drive innovation. So thank you so much for being here today. I had such a great time.
Likewise.
Thanks for tuning in to our special Climate Week New York video series. We hope this episode sparked new ideas and inspired you to take meaningful action on your ESG journey, whether through collaboration, innovation, or bold leadership. Stay tuned for more conversations with the change makers shaping a more sustainable future. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platform. Follow at ESG Decoded on social media and visit climeco.com for more insights and resources. Until next time, keep decoding, keep innovating, and keep driving positive impact.